What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're gonna be doing the match analysis from the match yesterday between Barcelona and Valencia in La Liga action, where Barcelona absolutely come out triumphant winners by 6-goal margin, scoring 7 on the evening in Montjuic. We're going to be discussing the team's performance, analyzing players' individual performances as well, alongside discussing, of course, 5 key things that we did learn from this game. But before we get into it, of course, make sure you guys smash that like button down below, and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. Also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, the first thing that we learned from this game is how effective and how dominant Barcelona can be when our big chances created are converted into goals, and that was very, very evident in this match. Let's first discuss the team's performance. We do have, of course, the silver score ratings here for the teams for the starting 11 over the course of the 90 minutes, with Fermín López getting a fat 9.9 out of 10, alongside the rest of the players pretty much performing as the average expected, and some, of course, a little bit above that as well, highlighting, of course, Balde, Kounde, Raphinha, and even Lamine Yamal. Now, if you take a look at the average positioning of the players in this game, left-hand side is the starting 11, right-hand side is with the substitutions coming in. Of course, that front four is going to be free-flowing. Fermin, Rafa, Lamine, and Ferran. You can see that Ferran was, of course, according to reports confirmed before the game, more of a false 9 in this game than he was a pure striker. And we saw, of course, Raphinha doing a lot inside the middle. Lamine Yamal holding a lot inside as well, not holding that width as we do like to see. But again, the game like this where it was open, the midfield was, of course, wide open. He saw himself inside a bit more than usual. Frenkie kind of very much playing as a pivot, even though he was, of course, making great runs forward. Shows how much of a balance he did have to his game. With the substitutes coming in, it was basically all over the place. You can see all those substitutions: Pau Torres, Hector Fort, Pau Victor just hooking down that right-hand side. Then you have Lewandowski, of course, up front, and then Jordan Martin on the left. But, you know, that's quite funny to see, if I'm being completely honest. Now, in terms of the actual stats for this match, first we do have the possession, which Barcelona did complete 72% of the possession as opposed to the 38 of Valencia, which, of course, shows the dominance in this game. 4.38 expected goals, 9 big chances, 22 shots, 14 corner kicks, 10 fouls, 708 passes, 11 tackles, 12 free kicks. Down the middle here, you can see the shot map, of course, for this game. A lot of them coming inside the box, a few from the outside. 22 shots in total, 11 outside, 16 inside the box, 1 off the woodwork, 6 of them were off target, 5 were blocked. A lot of those block shots are becoming a problem because they're really, really in good areas, but kind of is annoying. Big chances scored in this game, 5 for Barcelona, and big chances missed, 4. So we did, of course, score more chances than we missed. The 4 that were missed, I can think of course, the 3 Ferran ones, but I don't know what the other one is. But of course, that doesn't, of course, align with the XG of 4.3. 3 through balls, 38 touches in the area, and 1 foul in the final third. Now, this, of course, highlights, of course, the main talking point for this section, and that is scoring your big chances. Usually, it's kind of the other way around, where Barcelona maybe score 3 big chances and then miss like 6 or 7, but we win the game 3-1, wherever the case may be. This should be the bare minimum, at least scoring more chances than you miss. When you do that, it of course gives you a higher chance of winning the game, and also it makes the football make sense. What's Flick's philosophy? High risk, high reward. If there's no reward with the high risk, then what's the point of even doing it? That has been the main issue of Barcelona this season. As a team collectively, you can maybe point at individuals, but as a team collectively, there's been more big chances missed a lot of the time than big chances scored, and this game is evident of that. Now, into some more statistics. The ball was spent 40% in the middle of the park, with 30% in the half of Barcelona and 20% in the half of Valencia, which is quite interesting based on, of course, 7 goals being scored, which again, it goes back to my point in the match review that Valencia didn't play that badly. 638 passes were accurate at the 708 attempted, 10 throw-ins, 56 final third entries, 84% success rate in the final third phase as well, 51% success rate in the long balls, which is actually pretty good for Barcelona, and also 20% in crossing as well. Usually we're probably like 10% or lower, so again, everything's been very, very accurate for Barcelona. 57% of our duels won, with 57% being on the ground duels, 60% in the air, and 55% of our total tackles were won as well. So again, quite dominant performance as expected, based on, of course, the score line. Now, there were some crazy stats coming out from this game. Firstly, we have the Fermin López stat. At the age of 21 years old and 26 days, he's now the youngest player to be involved in 4 goals in a single La Liga game, 2 goals, 2 assists since Boyan against Valladolid in March of 2008 when he was 17 years years old. And also Fermin is the youngest Barcelona player to be involved in 3 goals in a single La Liga game since Ansu Fati against Real Sociedad in 2022. I believe Fermín López is also the 5th player to get 2 goals and 2 assists in a league game for Barcelona. The other 4 were, I believe, Griezmann, Suarez, Messi, and someone else who is slipping the top of my head that I cannot remember. Also in this game, the big talking point is that Barcelona have hit 100 goals scored in a single season. Usually teams probably score, I would say, between 80 to 110 in a whole season. And we're at 100 right now, and it's only freaking January. It's a crazy figure. It's the second fastest figure that Barcelona have ever reached since 1959. We also scored, of course, 5 goals in the first half of the league games for the first time since April 2015 against Getafe when Luis Enrique was the manager. And we have also scored 3 goals in the first 15 minutes of a La Liga match for the 3rd time in the 21st century after doing so in April 2008 against Valencia and October 2008 against Atlético de Madrid. So again, a lot of doubting stats there for Barcelona. The main highlight I would say is definitely 100 goals hit in January is insane in my book. Now I also want to discuss some of the quotes coming in after the game from players and the manager. We had, of course, Frenkie de Jong, Ferran Torres, and Fermín López speak after the game. Firstly, on Fermin, he came out saying that we came from a bad dynamic in La Liga and we needed this win. This is good for our confidence. The manager tells us that everyone in the squad is just as important. La Liga is very long. We'll fight until the end. I started the season now with some injuries. I needed goals to regain my confidence. I'm happy because I'm helping the team, and in the end, everyone who participates is performing at the required level, and this is what it means to be a team. Finally, I honestly need these goals as well. We need this win. It's a message from me, and it's a message from the team to everyone else as well. And yes, we have been very productive so far. It's important to score a lot of goals based on he's asked about the 100 goals for Barcelona. On Frenkie, it's a very important win. We were going through a bad period in La Liga. I think the league slump was just in matters of terms of results. We have played well and still lost 0 points. I think he's pretty much spot on there. But this game wasn't that bad. Getafe, we probably should have won. Then of course Leganes, we should have won. Atlético Madrid, we played well, but we still end up losing, so I can see where it's coming from. It's great to score a goal, especially when it's early, and I'm very happy. It was very important to send a message that we're still here and we're still fighting for the league. We have to regain confidence and stay focused at all times. It means that we're a team, of course, scoring a lot of goals, 100 goals. We attack very well. We have players who score goals. We have to continue like this and maybe even score more goals. Of course, winning La Liga is very important. Valencia are not a bad team. They are way better than they look, which again, he's not wrong. And again, as I said in my match review, of course, we can catch Real Madrid in the title race. I feel very good after the break. I'm 100% ready. I have to prove that I deserve to play, and then we will see. And finally, on Ferran Torres, it was a perfect match, although there are things that we can improve upon. I think we need this match to regain our confidence. It's clear that we're not at our best in La Liga. We need a match like this to regain confidence. So get him and Fermin on the same wavelength. My goal is to be ready when the coach needs me. It's always important to play and contribute to goals, especially for players. I don't think, and I needed to confirm anything in particular. I just try to take advantage of the minutes that I do get. I can play in any attacking position. I attack in spaces. I have a lot of goal sense, and I provide assists. The coach can count on me whenever he feels necessary. So a lot of confidence there coming in from the players. And now let's talk about Flick. Very, very interesting quotes here that we will discuss. Starts by saying that the energy on the pitch was great from the start of the game. We started with the first goal, then we continued playing like that, and it was great to see. Of course, and that's great for us coaching staff and for the team. They showed that they can play at this level, and that was unbelievable. It's great to see. He was talking there about the rotation. I know it's not the best situation for Naki Pena, but that's part of football. We discussed it with the coaching staff, and we made the decision to start Tech. Fermin was fantastic. He was man of the match for me. He was involved in so many goals, and he's a special player. The dynamic he added today was amazing. Then asked again on rotation, said that, look, that's my job. It's normal. It's better for me. I'd rather be in that situation rather than just have 11 players who always play in the same lineup week in, week out. Again, a lot of the focus of this post-match press conference was on Szczesny starting. He was asked about this again, said, look, it was discussed with the staff that we thought it was very important to play some new players on the pitch. It was nice to see that, and we started well and focused on that from the start. Also confirming that Szczesny will start the game against Atlanta on Wednesday. And he says that, look, we've always won with Szczesny, both with him and Naki Pena. We have very good goalkeepers, and today we opted for Tech, and in my opinion, it was a great choice. And it's now, I believe, 5 games with Szczesny, 5 wins. Barbastro, Athletic Club semi-final, the Super Cup, final Super Cup with Real Madrid, Benfica, and this game, which, I mean, is a pretty good record, and much better than Naki Pena's. I don't need to know who will be the starting goalkeeper in the future. Everything depends on the performance of the team, but I think that Szczesny will play the next matches. Then as on Eric Garcia's future, so look, I want Eric Garcia to stay. He gives us the save ability that we do need, and he plays different position. He showed how good he was in today's match. And then as on Ansu Fati's future, I think that Ansu Fati wants to stay, and that's okay. He's improving in a lot in the training sessions as well. So Eric isn't going to leave. Ansu Fati does not want to leave. Of course, things can still change, but that is the perspective of Ansu as things currently stand. I would like to lose more playing time for all the players, but that is not always a possibility. Fermin has showed his strength, and he helps the defense and the attack. He scores and assists, and I'm very happy for him. This, for me, was probably the best quote I've heard from a manager in quite some time. He said that, look, I wanted to sub in Gavi, but he told me to play Pablo Torre instead. It's incredible to see Gavi's commitment and unity for the team. What in the... If I am Laporta and I read this quote, I'm making an official club statement that Araujo has been stripped of his captaincy and has been given to Gavi. That is what I would do if I was from Laporta right now. I mean, it's nothing short of astounding that this team is this much of a unit, and that Gavi not only cares about himself this much, but also cares about his teammates. Of course, we were very surprised that Pablo Torre was coming on. Like, okay, nice little cheeky 10 to 15 minutes for him. We'll take it. But it was, of course, Gavi that initiated that sub. He was, of course, warming up on the sideline alongside, I believe, Christensen, who didn't come on either. And Flick called him over to say, hey, look, you're coming on. He's like, no, just bring on Pablo Torre instead, which I think is fantastic from Gavi. Anyways, back to Flick. I like the Cruyff style a lot. We don't want to concede goals, but scoring goals is a great pleasure. Of course, our clean sheet record this season has been absolutely disgusting. I would like to give the players more minutes, but that's not always possible. We have, of course, a lot of really great midfielders. I'm very happy with Ferran Torres, but he could have scored 2 or 3 goals today. Exactly what I said in my match review yesterday. That's his job, and he has shown that he can do that, and he can also score more goals than he already has. And finally, he was asked on Balde, saying that Alejandro Balde is a player who needs confidence. Right now, he's playing in an amazing form, has impressed a lot recently. Even then, his potential is much higher, and he can still do way better. So again, a lot of confidence there from Flick after this game, and highlighting some key points there from the player's perspective. But again, I think he mainly highlighting the team's camaraderie, the team's unity, and being able to score a lot of goals in this game than they normally should be. Now, the second thing that we learned from this game is that when Alejandro Balde is on it, not only does the back line look more comfortable, but our attacking down the left-hand side is now being able to compete and not heavily relying on our attacking down the right-hand side. In the match, he got a 7.6 score rating, of course, from his heat map playing as a left back. In the match, he only played an hour. He had 1 assist. He had the 4 ground duels and won 3 of them. Was fouled once and committed 1 foul himself. 50 touches, 95% pass accuracy, only misplacing 2 passes. He had also 3 key passes. He did 2 crosses, completed 1 of them. Of course, the one completed was for the goal. And the 2 long balls, created 2 of them, created 1 big chance. And of course, this is the big one in my opinion, attempted 2 dribbles and completed both of them. This is what we need from Alejandro week in, week out, or at least at a very, very high consistent rate. What we see a lot from Balde recently, and I would say probably this season, that he'd have this game maybe once in every 3, and then the other 2 he'd be bang average. He'd make some overlapping runs, which are going to be good. Might get a cheeky cross that ends up being well, but he doesn't have the main asset of Balde, in my opinion, is his electric speed and effective dribbling. When he's running down that left-hand side, he's dancing around 2 or 3, then making that darting run inside as well to open up the space completely. You're then attracting the defensive fullback to, of course, open up the space, whoever's on the left-hand side, Ferran Torres, Raphinha. It's just so effective, and that's why he benched Jordi Alba in that 2022-2023 season, because Jordi Alba lost all of that due to his age, his speed. He still had his tenacity on him. His crossing was, of course, fantastic, Jordi, but he lost that speed and dribbling effect, and that, of course, is why Balde became that main starter. He lost that a lot in the last year. Of course, he went through 2 absolutely dire injuries, which does suck. But now we are seeing, especially this month of January, prime Balde. And all we ask for now is to see more of it over the course of a consistent period. Now, the third thing that we learned from this match is that Pau Cubarsi is definitely now in the discussion of being one of the top center backs in the world after his performance. He got 7.4 sofa score rating. You can see from his heat map playing as a left center back when he is a right center back, which shows, of course, his versatility. In the match, he played 90 minutes, had 1 assist, 4 clearances, and did 5 aerial duels and won 2 of them. Only lost possession 4 times, did not commit a single foul in this game as a center back. 98 touches, 96% pass accuracy, only misplacing 4 passes. He had 1 key pass, did 6 long balls, completed 4 of them, and created 1 big chance as well. How an 18-year-old is this important for Barcelona is still mind-blowing for me. And of course, that's a lot of that comes down to Laporta heavily relied on La Masia, of course, due to the fact that we're probably broken, we can't really go out in the market and invest. But boy, oh boy, do we have a gem here with Cubarsi. There are a lot of conversation, remember at the beginning, that Micalfe should be ahead of Cubarsi, but thankfully Xavi has some eyes and can realize ability. But Cubarsi, I think, is coming up with Pedri as being one of the most consistent players in Barcelona this season, and probably over the course, I would say, over the past year. Cubarsi has been absolutely sensational. His passing is an ability that any team in the world would take for a defender. Rarely defenders are, fantastic passers. I think Van Dijk is a very good on the ball. Apart from that, maybe Saliba I think is actually pretty decent on the ball as well. But apart from that, I think Cubarsi is the best center back on the ball in the world without a shadow of a doubt, because he goes and creates chances. We've of course seen it a lot this season as well. Even the Valladolid game 7-0, the Montjuic had that assist for the Raphinha goal today yesterday for Fermin, and his long range passing and his passing versatility always creates spaces. What I also love as well is those cut lining passes, and we saw a lot of that in this game. Those passes through that Valencia attack into Barcelona midfielders that are open. He'll do a no look as well, which is just criminal that he does that. He's just absolutely sensational. He is a complete defender that is only going to get better from this point. I think the main point of his game that needs to be maybe a bit tuned out is his defending in 1v1. But again, he's already so good at that once he grows and plays more minutes, he will learn to do better at that. So it's only up from here from Cubarsi. He's been exceptional this season, one of the best players for Barcelona, and he showed that in this game. Now, the fourth thing that we learned from this match is a fully fit and fully fresh Frenkie de Jong is definitely a useful asset for this team, and in a contention as well of being a starter in this squad as well. In the match, got a 7.6 score rating. You can see from him, of course, playing the midfield mainly as that left DM in a pivot, but of course still progressing a lot forward. In the match, he played 78 minutes, had 1 goal, 71 touches, 95% pass accuracy, only misplacing 3 passes. He had 1 key pass, 1 shot on target, had the 4 ground duels and won 3 of them. He had the 1 aerial duel and won 1 of it as well. Did not commit a single foul in this game. He was fouled himself twice and also had 1 clearance. Again, there's been a lot of criticism about Frenkie de Jong, whether it's be his commitment to the future of Barcelona or even his commitment on the pitch. I would say November, December, it was quite poor from him. He played a really great second half in the Clasico where we won 4-0 to Bernabeu. After that, dropped off of a cliff, was completely average. But something clicked for him. Of course, barely played in the Super Cup. I don't even think he came on in either game, to be honest, but played that Betis game. And I think that's where the switch flicked. Had a fantastic performance. Came on for 45 minutes against Getafe, played very well. Came on for about half an hour against Benfica, played very well. Played 75 minutes in this game, played very well again. 4 games in a row, 4 exceptional performances, and now he is definitely in contention of knocking on the door. But on his performance, we're seeing how much of a useful asset he is. Again, on the ball, he's fantastic. His passing range is probably one of the best in the deep line midfield players that we currently have. You count Christensen, Eric Garcia, Casado. He's of course the best on the ball, and that provides Barcelona a useful asset, because when you have Casado on the ball in those key areas where you're looking for that, passes through the spaces and things like that. Of course, Casado can do that. We of course saw it with the Lewandowski goal in the Clasico, but being able to do it all the time, consistently and effectively, is what we're missing in this team. And of course, the ability and dribbling on the ball as well. Much better dribble than the likes of, Casado, Eric Garcia, Christensen, and of course, those pivot areas. And that is a very useful asset for Barcelona. And again, an asset where you could say that he's going to be a starter very well soon, that he's now going to be making his mainstay back in the team, and now it's going to be down to him to either drop poor performances to get out of it. But I think Frenkie de Jong has done enough in the past 4 games to solidify himself as a starter, based of course on current form, but it'll only be based on him that his position from that will be taken away. But exceptional performance from Frenkie, and again, it's only up from here, and let's hope he can keep this up. Again, like Balde, needs that consistency. Again, 4 games in a row now, which is great, but look at the past 2 months, it hasn't been great, so he needs to keep on this run going and then make the last 2 months, which we're currently in, of course, where he is at his best. And the 5th and final thing that we learned from this match is on how useful of a player that Fermín López is, and getting a lot of unnecessary stick this season as well. Got a 9.9 score rating. See from his team, of course, playing mainly as the 10, but of course occupying a lot of spaces mainly down the right hand side more as opposed to the left hand side of the pitch. In the match, got played 90 minutes, of course, 2 goals, 2 assists, 87 touches, 88% pass accuracy, 3 key passes. He did 5 long balls, completed 4 of them, created 1 big chance, 2 shots on target, and here's the big one again, in my opinion, attempted 6 dribbles and completed 4, attempted 2 aerial duels and won 2 of them. I mentioned this in my match review as well. Committed 1 foul, but was fouled himself 5 times. Attempted 15 ground duels and won 6 of them as well. What we saw from this game from Fermín López is how much of a useful player he is. I still believe that he is the best replacement for Dani Olmo, who is very inconsistent in terms of not only his performances but also his fitness. The reason with Fermín López's slow start of the season, of course, we saw this in the September, October, November months, was the how he played the Euros and the Olympics for Spain. Of course, from the Clasico, that's probably his last straw, the 4-0, where he had a very, very poor first half, and then Frenkie de Jong came in and saved him. Since then, he really hasn't been getting into the team, playing off the left in weird games. When he played off the left, where we had Lamine Yamal and Dani Olmo injured, he was playing on the wings, and he wasn't doing well there. Fermin Lopez's best ability, position, of course, is the 10, but ability is thriving in space and exploiting space. And I said this when I tweeted before the game, that he needs to have a good game because Valencia will be a bit more open than the likes of Getafe or Valladolid or maybe Espanyol that come to Barcelona. He was absolutely exceptional, picking up the spaces. His dribbling was fantastic. His finishing was sublime. His vision was exemplary. And this is the play that we saw from last season. He, of course, probably had his best game in a Barca shirt, but should be the main replacement for Dani Olmo when he isn't fit. Don't be putting Pedri in the 10 or Raphinha in the 10 or Ferran Torres in the 10 and playing Raphinha as a false 9, all this crap. Play the players that fill the position first. If Fermín López doesn't do too well, you can of course try Pau Torre, you can try Raphinha in the 10, but rely on those key assets first. And Fermín López showed that in this game. Again, we can see in the 10, and especially in big games where the space is wide open, the defenses are not going to be as compact as they usually are. That is where he thrives the most, and we of course witnessed that in the match. So that was a match analysis from the match yesterday between Barcelona and Valencia in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well. Let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed. If I missed any points, if you agree with my points, and of course around those 5 key points that we did mention, your thoughts on that. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.
Yeah.